Okay, Etale, let's switch gears. That vote in Parliament the other day, and I don't know, maybe it's me, but when I heard the yeas and the nays seemed a lot louder than the yeas. Is it true?
You know, I watched it.
Yes.
And it was... I was worried at some point.
Yeah.
Because when the lady, the temporary speaker, Madam Soipan, put the question.
Yes.
And the eyes had, you know, you couldn't even tell that there were eyes in the house. But the nays were the majority, even to the rooftop of Parliament. Correct. Everyone could hear. Even those morabu stocks that fly around Parliament could be seen flying away, you know, running away. They thought there was something like a bomb scare. Yeah. Because it was so loud.
It was so loud.
But I don't know how parliamentary procedures are, because I've been a parliamentary reporter even when I worked here at Pure Media.
Yeah.
Most of my time I was at Parliament. And, you know, during acclamation, whoever shouts loudest carries the day.
Correct.
And it would have been logical for the temporary deputy speaker just to say the nays have it. Then, if need be, they call for what we call for division.
Right.
Their eyes will rise on their feet. If they meet the requisite number to warrant a division, then that would have sufficed. But what she did was a bit irrational. She rushed to say the eyes have it, even when they could not be heard, even on radio and TV, even a 2-year-old could see.
Good.
But I'm not trying to say that what happened was wrong, because I don't know how parliamentary procedures work nowadays, the new standing orders. But according to the explanation of the speaker, which I saw on the Twitter handle, he said the process of, you know, to defeat a presidential memorandum, there must be a physical vote. You must vote. And in the House, there must be at least 233 members.
Great.
So what I saw when the physical head count was called by the speaker, she's called the chair of the speaker's panel, Madam Soipan, it was discovered that there were 215 members. But there was hue and cry from members who were chanting no, 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 who said, at the time when the acclamation was, the question was put, the House had about 312 members, which was way above the number, the requisite number, 233. Yeah. So what they wanted was that the vote should have been taken at that time. But the law says when a division is called, the quorum bell must be rung for 5 minutes so that they can whip members. So it was during that ringing of the quorum bell that we could see movements in and out, and that's a thing when the numbers started reducing. And I think it was strategic.
Yeah.
And in politics, you have to play your cards well. You must be strategic. And the president was hell-bent to see this thing pass in Parliament.
Correct.
So every strategy could have been employed to ensure that the president's memorandum passes and carries the day. Yeah. And that's what happened. Politically thinking.
Yes.
Yes.
It was all strategy.
But to the layman, I think it was a letdown to the layman.
Yeah.
Yes. To the common mwananchi, Wanjiku down there.
Yes.
They feel that the House, the Parliament let them down, and that they did not articulate their issues on the floor of the House, members themselves. But, you know, in such circumstances, anything could have happened. You know, it was so emotive. The House was chaotic. Everyone was standing. And you know, when the standing orders, you know, I've read the standing orders of Parliament, and you know, even during the committee of the whole House, when the chair of the session is putting questions clause by clause, members are supposed to be seated, but the whole House was upstanding. So whatever was happening there was also illegal. So the temporal speaker could have called members to order, asked them to sit down, then they proceed with putting questions, and because there was no amendment to that presidential memorandum. No member could move an amendment.
Right.
It was so chaotic. Yeah. Everyone was shouting, and they were just passing. Those who are interested, pro yes, were just saying aye, right. And then the whole thing passed.
Right.
So I think that's a story for another day. I don't know.
It was a mess. Italy, it was a mess.
It was a mess.
And Kenyans, like you said, Kenyans were very disappointed for the most part because, let's face it, man.